Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 2, entitled Ajamil, delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. Text 13, right? Text 13. Atainam Mahapanayata. Atainam Mahapanayata. Ataina Mahapanayata. Kita Sheshagha Niskritam. Kita Sheshagha Niskritam. Kita Sheshnaga Niskritam. Yad Asho Bhagavan Nam. Yad Asho Bhagavan Nama. Yad Asho Bhagavan Nama. Mriyamana Samagrahit. Mriyamana Samagrahit. Mriyamana Samagrahit. Atainam Mapanayata. Kita Sheshaga Niskritam. Yaddasho Bhagavan Nama. Mriyamana Samagrahit. Ata, therefore, enam, him, Ajamil. Ma, do not. Apanayata, try to take. Krita, already done. Asesha, unlimited. Aga Niskritam, atonement for his sinful actions. Yat, because. Aso, he, Bhagavat Nama, the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mriyamana, while dying. Samagrahit, perfectly chanted. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. At the time of death, this Ajamil helplessly and very loudly chanted the holy name of the Lord, Narayan. That chanting alone has already freed him from the reactions of all sinful life. Therefore, O servants of Yamaraj, do not try to take him to your master for punishment in hellish conditions. The Vishnu Dutas, this is the purport. The Vishnu Dutas, who are superior authorities, gave orders to the Yamadutas who did not know that Ajamil was no longer subject to the tribulations in hellish life for his past sins. Although he had chanted the holy name Narayan to indicate his son, the holy name is so transcendently powerful that he was automatically freed because he had chanted the holy name while dying. Anta Narayana Smriti. As Krishna confirms in Bhagavad Gita 7:28, Yesham Tantagatam Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Tidandra Moha Nirmukta Bhajanti Mam Drida Brata. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, whose sinful actions are completely eradicated and who are freed from the duality of delusion, engage themselves in my service with determination. Unless one is freed from all sinful reactions, one cannot be promoted to the platform of devotional service. Elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita 8.5, it is stated, Ante kale chamameva smaram muktas kalevaram yat prayati samadbhavam yati nastyanta samsaya. If one remembers Krishna, Narayan, at the time of death, one is certainly eligible to return immediately home, back to Godhead. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Shunmilitam Jaina Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shra Pandantikam. Atainam Mapanayata Sheshaga Niskritam Yad Asho Bhagavan Nama Mriyamana Samagrahit. At the time of his death, this Ajamil helplessly and very loudly chanted the holy name of the Lord Narayan. That chanting alone has already freed him from the reactions of all sinful life. Therefore, O servants of Yamaraj, do not try to take him to your master for punishment in hellish conditions. So this narration of Ajamil, the end of Ajamil, is very interesting and instructive for devotees. We see here that he's on his deathbed, he's dying, and he's shouting for his son, Narayan. He wasn't shouting for the Lord, he was shouting for his son. But the quality of that prayer, that call, that name, Narayan, chanted purely, immediately raised him up. You've been reading the story of his life. He was a Brahmin, but became, by bad association, he became engrossed, entangled in material life, sinful life. His whole life he was acting in that way. Therefore the Yamadutas came. That's the rule, right? When you die, if you've been committing sinful acts, the Yamadutas come and they drag you before Dharmaraj, Yamaraj, to see what is the result of your life. And then he sends you where you're supposed to go. But here we see that the Vishnu Dutas, the servants of Lord Vishnu, came to that place immediately and stopped them. No, you cannot take this person. Don't try to take him. You cannot take him. So this is interesting. Prabhupada, in his purport, he doesn't talk about that so much. He talks about persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life. Their sinful actions are completely eradicated. They're free from the duality of delusion. They engage in the Lord's service. This is what Prabhupada is talking about, right? In the purport to this verse. So, why? Why is he not saying that you just do whatever you want, and at the end of your life you chant Narayan, go back. The Vishnu Dutas will come and save you. Is it possible? We see it's possible. It is possible, because Ajamil, this is Bhagavatam. Yes, this is very rare, and we shouldn't try to emulate this person, Ajamil. But we should take this story, this narration, as an indication or proof, if you like, of the powerful nature of the holy name of the Lord. So powerful that just by calling the name of his son purely, he just wanted to see his son at the end of his life. Narayan, Narayan. The Vishnu Dutas came and stopped the Yamadutas from taking him away, taking him before the Lord. So that shows the power of the holy name. So at the end of our life, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that we should remember Krishna, Narayan, at the time of death. And if we are able to do that, then we are eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. So that's what we want, isn't it? That's why we're here, that's why we're endeavoring in devotional service, because we want to go back, we want to re-establish our relationship with the Lord. And Prabhupada has given us the path, the way to do it. Not following the footsteps of Ajamil, because that's very rare, as Prabhuji said. That's a very uncommon situation, that he was able, by the mercy of his son, or his relationship with his son. He loved his son so deeply, he's so attached to his son that he called him with pure heart. He called his name with a pure heart. We won't be able to do that. It's not going to happen for us. It's interesting because sometimes if I bump my head, then Krishna, or stub the toe, Krishna. So thinking, when something bad happens, I'm able to think of Krishna. Very good. That's good. But the reality is that at the time of death, the body is in such a state, it's uninhabitable. It's in such a state that the soul has to leave. I had an experience about last Diwali. I burned my hand with a hand firework, right? It burst. It was defective. It burst in my hand. I didn't chant Krishna's name. My hand, The pain was so bad, it wasn't like just bumping my head, oh Krishna, or banging my foot, oh Krishna. It wasn't like that. It was so bad, I wasn't chanting Krishna's name. My hand. Useless, right? So what to speak of the time of death, when the body is in such a state that you cannot stay there anymore. The soul cannot stay there. In that position, we have to remember Krishna. How is it possible? How are we going to do that? So it's done by practice and detachment. So that's why the acharyas, Prabhupada, tell us that we have to chant unceasingly. We have habits. We create habits for ourselves, mostly bad habits. But in devotional life, in spiritual life, we have to develop good habits for ourselves. Good habits that we start by doing it mechanically, but it has to come automatic. And habits are like that. Once you establish a habit, then they become automatic. So we have to chant the holy name of the Lord. We have to chant Krishna's name when we are healthy, when we are able to. We have to establish that habit, so that maybe by the mercy of the devotees, we'll be able to remember the Lord at the time of death. So that's why Prabhupada is mentioning this verse. Hare Krishna. Ante Narayana Smriti. That's what's required. And somehow or other, Ajamil was able to do that in spite of not being spending his life practicing. He didn't spend his life practicing, but somehow or other he took that opportunity. He got that opportunity. We, on the other hand, have to follow the process that Krishna is giving us, that the acharyas are giving us, that we have to engage ourselves with determination, engage ourselves in the service of the devotees and the Lord with determination, chant the holy name of the Lord with determination, and continue in this way in order to give ourselves the best opportunity at the time of death. We need that. We have to do that. So that's our only hope. We cannot hope for this kind of situation. It's not going to happen. That's not going to be our position. So the holy name of the Lord is all powerful. Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, they're all the same. They're all the same. They're non-different. They're Krishna himself. Sat. So, in this age, in this Kali Yuga, Mahaprabhu has come and he has opened up the storehouse, they say, and he's given this name to everyone. Because in this age, it's the only way that we're going to be able to purify us and come to the platform, right? So we're very fortunate. We got this opportunity. We didn't get the opportunity of Ajamil, but we got the opportunity to chant the holy names of the Lord. Although we are not so qualified, we don't have. In this age, Manda Sumanda Matayam, all the people, including ourselves, are not so intelligent, not so qualified. This is Kali Yuga, right? Our strength is diminished, everything is diminished in this. But special mercy is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the holy name of the Lord. He came, he delivered it. And so that's our solace, that's our safe shelter, but we have to take it. It's there, but we have to take it. It's not just automatically gonna work. When we go out on the street and we chant the holy name of the Lord, we do Sankirtan, right? So people are hearing. We are chanting and people are hearing. So they are getting benefit of that hearing. They're getting the benefit of that hearing, and we are also getting the benefit of chanting and giving that name, right? So because they're so unfortunate, the acharyas, very merciful, Prabhupada, so merciful, he went and carried that name to the USA, to the West, on the order of his spiritual master, and just set up under a tree and just started chanting, right? And giving that name, giving that holy name to those people of New York City, not qualified persons, but they took it. They took it. And so we see that qualification is not really the issue. It doesn't. Ajamil also not qualified. He was not qualified. He spent his whole life in sinful activities. But the holy name of the Lord, chanted purely, rescued him, saved him. And it can do the same thing for us. But we have to take it. We have to take shelter of the holy name of the Lord. We have to drown our minds in the holy name of the Lord. And we have to, there's other things that we have to do as well. You know that. Because it's not possible. That's why we have these sanghas. We have to take association of devotees. And by the mercy of the devotees, we can get the highest pleasure, the highest taste. The highest taste. What's the highest taste? Yes, sweetness of bhakti, Krishna prem. Krishna prem. That's available to all of us. It's available. You can have it. How? By the mercy of the Lord and His devotees, especially Mahaprabhu, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nahiyanya. Right? So Radha, she is the embodiment of devotional service. She embodies devotional service. And Krishna wanted to taste that. So he came as Mahaprabhu. Radha and Krishna combined so that he could taste that loving service to himself. It's amazing. And what it is, not just to taste, but to give. Audharya. He's a very most munificent, most merciful Lord, because He freely gave this love of Godhead. But again, we have to take it, because we have free will. We are not, it's not automatic. We have to take it. We have to have the desire. Everything stems from desire, right? And Krishna, we are tatastha. We are in the middle. One side, internal energy, other side, external energy. But always, we are so small, we are always under one or the other. One or the other. So, you want to enjoy, try to enjoy material life. Yeah, Krishna gives the arrangement. He makes the arrangement. You want to take shelter of Him, that arrangement is also there. So it's very important that we take this seriously. We act with determination, because you cannot even enter pure devotional service unless you're free. The real devotional service, let's understand, real devotional service begins from the platform of liberation. Right? Platform of liberation. So we are not liberated, are we? We are here. We are not liberated. But somehow or other, by the mercy of Prabhupada and the devotees and the acharyas, when we come in to the temple, we are somehow able to engage in the highest life, devotional life, right? We are able to worship the deity, we're able to chant the holy name of the Lord, we're able to serve the devotees. This is not ordinary activity. It's not ordinary. It's actually the highest platform. When you go back to the spiritual world, what do you think you're going to be doing? Same activity. Service. Jivera Swaruphoy Nitya Krishna Das. So we're always servants of the Supreme Lord. So here we're somehow allowed to engage in the service of the Lord, take it up with determination, take it seriously, and give it to others. Give it to others. Because you're fortunate, don't keep it for yourself. Huh? And that's the highest sadhana, actually. The highest sadhana is to give Krishna consciousness to others. Krishna is very happy when you do that. And the acharyas are very happy when you do that. And unless you please the acharyas and Krishna, the devotees, you cannot have any chance of making advancement in spiritual life. So these are the keys. These are the keys. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much. Wonderful explanation. You mentioned that real devotional service begins at liberation. So it takes a lot of time to become liberated. Like as you said, we are now not liberated. So what we are doing now, in which category we should put it? What we are doing now? We are also trying to do some service. So what is this?
Yes. We are trying to do some service under the guidance of the pure devotees. They are liberated and they are engaging us, right? That's the only way it's possible. Mahaprabhu came, he opened up that opportunity, and the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Gaudiya Acharyas have been distributing that. So Rupa Goswami, Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, you write the process. So Rupa Goswami has given Nectar of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar Instruction, and so many books. And those books have been expounded by acharyas on and on. And Prabhupada has given his Bhaktivedanta purports. So what we are doing, don't think that you're doing it on your own strength of your own desire, or we are doing it by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and his pure devotees. That's the real thing, not by our own. Because look at ISKCON. You get anyone can walk off the street, right? Some really degraded person, right, can walk off the street, can walk into this temple, can take darshan of the Lord, can sweep the temple, or do some service, which is very high. It's very unusual. It's quite unusual, because the reality is, as I said, and Krishna says that in Gita, and Prabhupada confirms it, that real pure devotional service starts from liberation. So our service is mixed. Mishra Bhakti. It's mixed devotional service, and it's done under the direction of the pure devotees. And that's why it's important that we have to remain under the shelter of their. If we try to go on our own and make our own idea, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So technically, when you ask what are we doing, it's called Mishra Bhakti. It's mixed devotional service. But if we execute that service under the guidance of Prabhupada, his devotees, right, who are present now, it's perfect. It's perfect. There's no issue. There's no problem. But make sure that you're doing it like that. You know, you have your spiritual master. There are other spiritual masters. You know, we're not just interested in one. There are many gurus. We have our direct connection, but then there are other qualified people who can guide us. And as devotees, aspiring devotees, we're aspiring, right? We want to be a devotee. Not quite yet. Some of you may be, but we're just trying to become devotees. And it's possible. And we have to act. We have to act on that platform under the direction of the spiritual masters. If we do that, our life can become perfect, and at the end of this life we can immediately go back home, back to Godhead. It's possible. It's possible in a moment, like this. Ajamil. In one moment, by the mercy of the Holy Name, he got the opportunity. But we can practice. We can use this life, use this body in the service of the Lord, practice, and at the end of this life, it's possible. We'll go to that place where we can get further training. That's how it works. You don't go straight to Golok. You go to Gokul. And in Gokul you get training. More training. That's how it works. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for emphasizing on the basic things of Krishna consciousness. My question is just continuation of his question. Though we are practicing devotional service under the guidance of the liberated soul, we are trying to practice devotional service under the guidance of liberated soul, but most of the times things become mechanical, chanting, though wide awake, chanting loudly, but mind is wandering, reciting the prayers and singing the arti, but most of the time out of track. So how we can, some practical tips, how we can focus on these things. All the things I am observing, especially in my life, I am doing all the things, but most of the time, even morning program is
yes, mechanical is how we have to do it in the beginning. It's mechanical. It is mechanical. It's described that you have to mechanically practice the sadhana bhakti. It's a mechanical process. At the same time, you have to take control. Vacho vegam, manasakroda vegam, jiva vegam, udarapasta vegam. Right, these are the pushings. We are discussing this in our afternoon classes. So Rupa Goswami is telling there that these are the areas that you have to control. The urge to speak, the pushing of the mind, anger, the tongue, the belly, the genitals, these things are to be controlled. This is so we do our mechanical execution of our work, but we also have to work on ourselves. We have to bring our tongues under control, bring our mind under control. All these things have to be controlled. It's called tapasya. That's the tapasya. So it's not so difficult. It sounds difficult, but it's actually not so difficult, because the only way, the real way to control them is to link them to the Lord. That's the only way. Right? So the urge to speak, you can't stop that. This mona doesn't work. But what you can do is only speak about Krishna. Only speak about things connected with Krishna. That means service. And like that, all these different things, you can link them to the Lord. Pushing of the tongue. Okay, only take prasad. We only take prasad. So that controls the tongue, which in turn controls the belly, like that. So mechanical practice of devotional service is what we are doing. We have to do that, mechanically chanting. But at the same time, we have to also work on ourselves, and it's under the direction of the acharyas. Rupa Goswami has given the process, how to do it, what you have to do and how you do it. You have to read Nectar of Devotion and study that, and everything is there. Especially the mind, because the mind is, as you said, you're chanting, but mind is somewhere else. You're in the arti, but mind is somewhere else. So this mind has to be brought under control, and it's brought under control by acting. Means, we were discussing the other day, it's like there's a voice, the inner voice. You know what I'm talking about? The inner voice. You're saying something here, but here something else is going on, right? You're talking to somebody, you're hearing from him, but you're actually not hearing. You're thinking what I'm going to say, how I'm going to answer this, or you're thinking something else. You're not really listening. So the practice is, you have to watch your mind and bring it back. So you can do it on a daily basis. It's said that, when you're chanting your rounds, you chant and you hear and you keep bringing your mind back. So that voice, that inner voice, that voice has to also chant. You understand? The voice, you know what I'm talking about. Everyone has that. That's the mind. It's a voice in the head. It's going on and on. That has to be brought under control. And you control it because it's not you. You're not the mind. The intelligence is superior to the mind. So with your intelligence, you have to bring it under control. So chant with your mind. Practice. And then bring them together. So that when you're chanting here, you're also chanting here. And it doesn't happen automatically. You have to work. You have to practice. And when you're talking to somebody, hear. Actually hear what they're saying. Don't think. Be here now. There's a philosophy that be here now. You have to practice that. Be here now. When you're taking prasad, actually taste it. Be with the prasad. Don't be thinking about something, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. No. You can do this practice all day long in all your interactions. And by that practice, you'll bring the mind under control. And when the mind is brought under control, it becomes very, very much easier. And slowly you'll see that the mechanical will turn into automatic. Hare Krishna. So I think that's the end of class, no? All glories to Srila Prabhupada.